Aloha.
Shout out Pearl Harbor, by the way. Whoop, whoop. People that watch this probably think it's weird. It's like, I think because now we're on video. We've been on video for a while, but I let the intro play to a certain point. Like they got to go through like the first 4 bars of the song before I can start talking. And then, but now we're just sitting here looking at each other on the video and, so it might be kind of weird to people, but it's just the right way to do it. Hello and welcome. We're back. My name is Brian Beckner. This is the Baller Lifestyle Podcast, episode number 615. We really appreciate you. We really love that you're listening. Thank you for being a part of our world. We would appreciate it. We would like it. You would like it if you subscribed to our Patreon. The bonus content we do each and every week is available to you there for only $5 a month. Patreon.com/The Baller Lifestyle Podcast. You can also listen for a week for free. So subscribe and just listen to all the shows, and then you can unsubscribe if you want. Like if you're that kind of person, whatever, it's fine. I am joined now, as always, by Mr. Ed Daly. Ed, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. My buddy sent me this like an hour or two ago. It's pretty interesting.
I would like to hear it.
The Dark Secret is a niche funeral service offered in California where for a fee of $500, a black limousine arrives at the funeral and a young woman in black pays respects. So you could just a
mistress.
I guess if you really hated the widow, you could pay for this to just fuck with them.
Amazing. Yeah.
Right? I wouldn't pay for my I've been on the record many times. When I die, just throw me in the garbage. I don't need any sort of, but if you want to fuck with like the dynamics after, it would be amazing.
Yeah, that is a nice service. I'm reminded of one time I was at a funeral and they released doves, which I'm like, that's so weird that they released. They like just send these birds.
Hasn't anyone seen the '88 Olympics?
Right,
Korea.
yes.
The doves
They torched them.
Yeah. They go along the cauldron, just lit them on fire.
And I started chatting up the dove releaser, and I'm like, so these things are just gonna fly home? And he's like, yeah. And I go, well, how do they not get murked by a hawk? I'm like, there's tons of hawks around here. Like, one's gonna get them. And he's like, once in a while. He goes, yeah, but he's like, but the fast flight. And he was really into the doves. He's like, no, man. He's like, fast flight. He's like, they fly faster than doves and they can't catch them. And I'm like, oh, really? And I'm like, this guy's way too into the doves. And then like 3 weeks after that funeral, I was reading about some guy that got arrested because he was hoarding all these weapons and had white supremacist ties. And I'm like, oh, that's that guy. That's a dove guy. That's a dove guy from the wedding.
You should have said to him, maybe you're just too demanding.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just like your father.
No wonder the doves were all white. Amazing. Okay, you want to just get right into this?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. It's been a while, been a minute. We do this every other week. Interspersed, of course, by the we do the bonus content here every week.
I've been told better content when I'm not there. So
oh, really?
Yeah. Multiple people have told me that, and it's like, well, thanks for letting me know. Like, I'm happy for you to get all your accolades. I like that they're telling me it's better without me.
It's right, because I go on there and talk about my my boy kibble and how many squats I do, and that's what apparently people like that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about we like to talk about people who died here. Let's talk about some people who died. reading about the Howard Stern and Beth are being sued by their house manager or something, executive assistant.
I don't know about this.
Yeah, it's for it's one of these domestic situations. It's probably maybe just a cash grab or whatever. I don't know. But one detail I did notice is that they apparently look, they got a 20,000 square foot house in the Hamptons, plenty of room. There's too much house, clearly. Like, it's clear. But one of the things that's alleged in there is that they're animal hoarders, and that have at points had as many as 900 cats.
Yeah, Beth. I don't know.
900 cats.
Beth is big. I don't listen as much as I used to, but
sure,
she's big in the North Shore Animal League, like cat rescue, cat and dog rescue. But
say Mo. Yeah.
Like, you can love animals, but it's kind of like when you have too many kids, how are you looking out for all of them? Is it in their best interest to have 900 cats?
No, a couple of them are going to fall through the cracks there. It's a numbers game. There's just not enough that you can take. And Ed, the cat boxes, the cats,
the smells. No.
The odors, like it's. I mean, if you're gonna have a couple of cats, okay, that's fine. Sure. You got 20,000 square feet.
You have to do, but
have 5 or 6. Yeah, 900. That's too many.
20,000 square feet was the perfect size for Jordan to have 3 families going on at once.
Right. Exactly right. Yeah.
They
never run into each other
with cats.
Yeah.
You don't need that.
You do get stressed, or do you get stressed when you see somebody's got a huge house like that, and you're like, you have 4 kitchens. What do you need all those kitchens for? Who needs, like, I get that you're rich and you got to like signal, hey, I'm rich, but like, how much house can you use? It's at some point, it's the law of diminishing returns. It gets stressful to have that much house.
The only thing I would like more apartment for is just storage of shit. Yeah. But
then you end up keeping more shit. And then you got too much shit.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't need all this shit.
I'm a 1,700 square foot apartment, and it's plenty apartment for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And you got all those t-shirts.
I got t-shirts, and I got this fucking behemoth behind me.
You got the hoop. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen. Once my younger son goes away to college, I got a lot more space. I'm like, hey, hope your college buddies like Papa Shot, because I am getting this out of here.
We're delivering it to the frat house, buddy, because the time has come.
Right.
All right. Who died?
R.I.P. James Tolkien.
It's a big one.
Back to the Future, Top Gun actor, 94. I believe we did both of these movies.
Hell yeah.
And like, great movies, and he's great in it. Principal Strickland, and then he's the guy who's like, I'm sending you to Top Gun. And he's talking about rubber dog shit.
The Admiral. Yeah.
He was a great bald actor.
Yeah. Cougar was number 1, but he turned in his wings. Now I can't believe I gotta have my head examined, but I'm sending you guys to Top Gun.
Yeah.
Miramar. Great actor. This guy was very iconic in our childhood. Stunned he's still alive. He lived a nice long life, 94 years. Principal Strickland? Come on. R.I.P. James Tolkien.
R.I.P. Barrett Robbins, former Raider center. I wouldn't know former offensive lineman, but we all know him.
Of course.
Who are of a certain age, because he went AWOL the day before the Super Bowl. It was Raiders Bucks, I believe.
Yes, it was in San Diego.
Yeah, and he went to Tijuana or something. I believe I also remember a story where he was breaking into a South Beach jewelry store.
Yes, I remember that.
There was something, but 52, they said he died peacefully in his sleep, but like clearly this guy was not peaceful. Like there was shit going on in his head since. I mean, that Super Bowl must have been 20 years ago.
Yeah, 98, 99, somewhere in there.
52 years old, R.I.P. I'm
very
glad
sad.
He's finally at peace, but it's very sad.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Valerie Perrine. She was actress from the original Christopher Reeve Superman, 82 years old, Parkinson's. If you look at her from that movie, she's pretty cute. I guess this was like she was like 40 when that movie came out.
Hold on, I need to see who she is. Wait, she's not Gene Hackman's love interest in that, is she?
Is that who she is?
I don't know. I'm gonna look right now. That's actually, look, we made it clear. Comic book. No, who is she? Maybe she is. Yeah. Look, comic book movies not our thing on this show. But if you're gonna watch a comic,
you're a little boy and you're watching Superman with Gene Hackman.
It's a good ass movie. Yeah, Gene Hackman, Terrence Stamp, Zod, General Zod. Yeah. General Zod was terrifying. General Zod scared the shit out of me.
Wait, she played Lex Luthor's girlfriend.
Yes. Yeah.
She had the look. She had the guns out. Remember, she had like the cutout, and you could just see the cleavage.
She, it has to suck being the girlfriend of a. Oh yeah. She's hot with the bangs.
She's hot.
It has to suck being the girlfriend of a supervillain because it's like he's rich. To be a supervillain, you have to be fabulously wealthy. You got layers.
Let's retire. Don't be fighting the guy who only one thing can hurt him.
Kryptonite.
Let's just be wealthy and party.
What? Yeah, we already made our bones. Like what do we got to pay back? What do we got to?
Do we know where the money from Lex Luthor came from? Like, was he in minerals?
Probably. Yeah. You know what it was? Probably AI. It was probably like we get billionaires now. He pretended to have an idea of some bullshit that was just a lie that can't even fucking do math. And then everyone goes, oh, I got to invest $900 billion.
You know what he probably did? He's like, what I've got now, it's going to help society as a whole, but I'm going to charge everyone money for it. Right? You won't need to work if AI works.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing. We're going to charge it like a utility. So everybody has to pay us an extra bill, just what everyone wants, an extra bill every month.
It's just like Jonas Salk. I'm doing this for the good of mankind, except that I get paid at the end. You all got to pay me for it.
I want $187 a month for this.
Yeah, we live in the worst fucking timeline possible.
The worst. Yeah. If you know a billionaire, punch him in the face.
It's kick him in the dick. Yeah.
R.I.P. Kevin. Well, I'm not gonna. I will not say R.I.P.
Okay.
Kevin DeCicco, creator of Air Bud.
DeCicco. I feel like
creator of Air Bud.
In the neighborhood you live in, Ed, you should be able to pronounce this.
Forget about it.
Go down to the corner and get a black and white cookie and ask the guy how to pronounce this name, Ed.
That's right. Hey. Oh, 63 years old. And then I read the downfall. Apparently he didn't get paid. He taught a dog to dunk.
He taught that dog how to dunk a basketball. I saw it in the poster, Ed. He goes up there with the paws.
You know it's bullshit. He's
dunking.
Me.
He's dunking the basketball. Amazing. Air Bud.
You know how much that enrages me. He taught his dog to be flipper, to bounce a ball in up its snout.
Yeah.
He built an empire, but he didn't have the ownership. The dog got paid.
You're saying Disney fucked him?
Homeless. He was homeless. Yeah. And
I'm of two minds here, Ed, because it's sad that I want people to get paid for their work. But this guy wrote a piece of shit. He wrote a complete piece of shit. Yeah.
He didn't even write anything. He's just like, look at my dog. He went on to like stupid pet tricks on Letterman.
Yeah, right.
And then Hollywood's like, we can do something with this.
Oh, no, he's the guy with the dog. He had a dog that had a talent. Oh, that's right.
I read Air Bud died in 98. So he really outlived Air Bud.
Yeah. The SIGs got him.
They in the obituary, it said he smoked a lot 3 times. Usually you don't need that many times. He died of chronic obstructive pulmonary
COPD.
disease.
Yeah.
Oh, right. COPD. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was, if you looked at a picture of him in recent years, he looked like kind of like the neighbor in Home Alone. He was just a big white beard, disheveled. He did not get paid. He was living on the street. Very sad. Except for the part that he unleashed that terrible movie.
Yeah. Who dunks? Airbud dunks. They did, and they did like 9 Airbuds. There's Air's Bud for days.
Golden, like the football one.
Retriever.
Golden Retriever.
Golden Receiver.
Yeah.
Also my prison nickname. Golden Receiver. Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. Mary Beth Hurt. She was star of the Woody Allen movie Interiors and The World According to Garp, 79, Alzheimer's. Good run.
Yeah.
I gotta say, World According to Garp, at some point I had to read that in school. I hated it.
Yeah. It's John Irving. John Irving, right?
John Irving. Yeah. Very in love with his words, and they sucked.
I believe, and look, I haven't seen the movie since I was a child, but I believe it's Milos Forman, was it not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cuckoo's Nest, like a great director. I hated that movie. I hated it. And when I say I hated the book, I hated the movie because I did not read a book growing up. I did Color Purple for a book report like 3 times. Just watched the movie.
Yeah.
And so Garp, fuck everything associated with that movie and book.
Yeah, R.I.P. obviously, Robin Williams.
R.I.P.
But like, what was that? Like the bar was low for entertainment in Robin Williams' heyday because he would get yacked up on lots of coke and get sweaty and frantic. And like,
look at my suspenders.
Yes, not really funny. Like just sweaty. He's real sweaty and real active. And then when they put him in like every movie.
He just would talk very sad. And like he got Good Will Hunting, which was, entertaining. But then he had Patch Adams. He had a lot of bad movies.
Patch Adams, one of the great pieces of shit of all time. Like just really one of the awful.
Putting on the red news. I'm dealing with cancer.
They couldn't get Julia Roberts, so they got kind of like a hotter version of Julia Roberts to play the love interest
from Con Air, right?
Monica Potter.
Yeah,
I think her name was. Yeah, and just it's one of those ones where it's like it was like just a regular shitty movie, but it was enraging because everybody loved it. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, Patch Adams! Oh, you got to watch this Patch Adams!" And then you see it, and you're like, "This piece of shit! Like, we're supposed to like this? This is transcendent."
R.I.P. Ricardo Ortiz, a retired matador, 51 years old. You'll never guess how he died.
COPD, cardiopulmonary disease.
He was killed by a bull.
The bull got him. Did he mess with the bull?
He couldn't stay away from the game. And these guys talk to their friends.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, Ferdinand, this is the guy that kept fucking with us."
Right.
Like,
they know.
Yeah. He's like working in the arena. I know, like, Ferdinand, tell you what, every day at 1:15, he goes and gets a smoke break. He's going to have his back turned. I need you to buck him the fuck up.
I'm thinking of, remember Norm Macdonald's bit on the crocodile hunter? And he's like, "Oh, yeah," and all the crocodiles are talking. And they're like, "Oh, crocodile done it. Who got him? Was it Fred? Fred got a Ray. A Ray got him." Like,
yeah, that's right. It's a Ray.
Look. You mess with the bull, you get the horns. And I'm not here to shame anybody for their cultural traditions. Yeah. But what are we doing with the fighting of the bull? What are we doing?
My favorite thing about bullfighting, the movie The Matador, starring Pierce Brosnan and Greg Kinnear. Awesome movie.
Oh, I didn't see this.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, it's great.
Is it that gorgeous Pierce Brosnan that's fighting the bull?
So he's playing a hitman, and they're in Mexico, and there's a bullfight, but it has nothing. It's like a dark comedy. It's great. Great movie. The Matador.
I think I've seen this movie.
It's great. Yeah. He's a hitman circling the drain kind of.
Oh yeah, end of the road for him. Yeah.
I hope I know you're sitting down because I'm watching you.
Here sitting. Yeah.
R.I.P. Dominika Mina Elishirova.
Yeah, you nailed that. I think
she's an influencer.
Yeah.
23 years old. I believe Czech. No,
Fell
not
off.
Czech.
Maybe Estonian. I don't know. It's got an ova at the end. Ukrainian.
Ova makes me think it
Latvian?
can't be Czech, but I
Yeah.
thought I read Czech. 23 hit by a truck, but you know,
hit by a truck. You really glossed it over. Very important. You just ran right past the part where she got hit by a truck.
But
what a way to go.
I didn't know if you were prepared to hear an influencer died.
Crazy.
So I just, you know,
it's just, I wasn't.
Eventually, one of these influencers is gonna die.
It seems like one of the leading causes of death these days is actually influencing.
Is having that on your resume?
It's very dangerous because every week we talk about at least one or two influencers under the age of 30 years old that's being hit by a truck or falling off a building.
Is the influencer the new soap star? Because we don't have that many soaps. They've kind of unwound most of them. General Hospital is still going, but like most are not.
No, that's true. Yeah. Well, I was stunned to learn that. Now, wait, I can't remember. If General Hospital is still on the physical TV. It's not.
I'm going to tell you something crazy about it.
I think I know this, but go on. Yeah, tell me.
I live in a house with someone who still watches every episode.
It's crazy. It's crazy. She doesn't.
So we got like 20 years ago. I made the decision. We've never cut the cord.
It's crazy. I know. I believe you still have a landline associated with your.
You don't have a landline.
Okay.
But I bought TiVo for life, so I have DVR service for life.
That's right. It's so crazy,
and it still exists.
This is
but the only reason why I haven't cut the cord is because of James Dolan, and if I get
Cablevision.
If I get like any Hulu Live TV or any of the YouTube TV, they don't get MSG Network, and I watch one of the things I watch are Knicks games.
The Knicks.
So if I can't get it, like I can't tell you the last time I watched network TV outside of like a football game or something.
Yeah, you're saying.
But I can't get the Knicks, and like I looked into pricing out, cutting the cord, and doing this and that, and it's like, so I just keep with it. But we do get the ABC network, and Michelle just has like a running order of General Hospital, and she puts it on while she's doing work, and like she watches like in 2026, like watches General Hospital.
Yeah, she was all because Anthony Geary, aka Luke, he just soldiered on to the great beyond not that long ago, and she was up on his return, where he'd been on the show. She knew it all. Not only, and this is Michelle,
Francis, Laura.
This is Michelle, modern woman, career woman, who not only has never listened to this podcast, but as far as we know, may have never listened to any podcast whatsoever.
Not may have, has never listened to a podcast in her life.
Never heard a podcast.
Never. Doesn't even know what it. She just thinks I go downstairs and like I don't know, talk to myself like I'm what's the Russell Crowe movie where he's talking to himself at the Princeton dorm room?
Oh yeah,
Beautiful Mind.
Yeah,
I think she thinks that I'm just in there putting post-it notes.
What is this? Yeah, what do you do?
She doesn't even know.
She's like, just leave Ed. He's doing his thing.
He's doing his thing. He pretends every Monday night.
I noticed as I was taking a sip of water. Look right here. Do you see on my water bottle that red streak running down my water bottle? And this is
that's not by design. That's
my own blood. I
thought that was like a fake blood on the skull.
No, it's like a sticker. There's a sticker there, but my blood is actually running down the face of the skull. It almost looks like I did it on purpose. It's running. So Ed, you'll like this. I crop my t-shirts. I'm 5'8", sometimes my t-shirts.
Like a belly shirt?
Yeah, well, not a belly, but sometimes the t-shirts are a little long for me. So
you Chris Zorich back in the day?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Doug Flutie. I cut the bottom seam off my t-shirt to frame the body a little bit better.
Wow.
And I was doing it. This is real gay. I was doing it with scissors, right? I was cutting the thing with scissors, and I was really fucking them up. I couldn't cut a straight line with the scissors. So a friend of mine was like, "Oh, you need to get a rotary cutter." And a rotary cutter is like this. It's like a pizza cutter, but for clothing. And so it's got a little thing where you push it down, and a round rolling blade, sharp as fuck, Ed. A round rolling blade comes off, and I go, and I go slide down the t-shirt, and it cuts it perfectly straight and razor sharp. Well, I was cutting a t-shirt this weekend, Ed, and I cut it. And then I went to cut another one, and I set it up on my little setup with my straight edge, and I went to cut it again. And without looking, I reached over to grab the cutter, and the blade was still out. And the fucking thing is so sharp, and it sunk right into the middle of my middle finger and would not stop bleeding for like half a day. And so that's my blood on my water bottle.
I put onions in like almost everything I make.
Oh, dude, that's the number one finger cutter.
I have a chopper. I have a chopper,
that
but like
sharp.
little bits of onion sometimes get in there before I put it in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
And just the other day, I tried to pull it out, and just like tapping it,
you can't
like
do that, Ed.
Blood, just instant blood.
What is this? Are you new to? So I look. As we've discussed on this show, I've had some past relationships, and I lose a lot of my items in those past relationships.
That's right.
In a previous relationship, I had one of those things where you put the onion in it and you push the thing down.
That's what I got.
Yes, and then it's like a little square grate that pops in there, and you put that thing in the dishwasher. But sometimes you're like unloading the dishwasher, and you go to grab that thing out of the dishwasher, and it's razors. The whole thing's made of razors. Like it's dangerous to even own such an item. Yes, that's happened to me before too.
Well, I hope you're still sitting down because
yes,
I'm sorry to say we lost an adult film star, man by the name of Seth Peterson. Although I believe his name was like he was 28, overdose. R.I.P.
Yeah,
but his real name. It was like Alex Aguirre, because I was like, is he related to Mark Aguirre? And then I saw he looks like definitely not Mark Aguirre. He looks more like a Seth Peterson than an Aguirre.
Yeah.
But
he doesn't look like he went to DePaul University and could really knock down the 16-footer.
Doesn't look like he could pull up at any court in Chicago and fit in. He looks like maybe twink porn was the better move.
Yeah, he's looking
but
like he's looking like a twink porno guy. Hold on, is
I tried to look up his filmography.
Package. Yeah,
I didn't. I
looks like there's multiple Seth Petersons. Once again, like whoa, I hit an NS. Whoa, I threw an Whoa, oh my God.
Don't you think he looks like more like a Seth Peterson than an Aguirre?
Yeah, he definitely does. Holy shit. I mean, this guy he would not be in the kind of videos you'd be interested in, Ed. Because he's primarily Apple bag. Yeah, it's like mostly Apple. I mean, great abs, I will say. I mean, these poses.
Well, not now, but he was in great shape.
Yeah, he's in less good shape now because of the deadness. Yeah. It is interesting, like, when you're going to do porno, really all you need is a really good handle. You got to come up with just a real catch 'em, like eye-catching name, you know? You're like, just you really got to hit them. And the world is your oyster.
Chess
Rockwell, Buck Swope. I mean, never forget the time we reviewed Boogie Nights on the show. I believe it's like episode 200 or something, and it's in the twos. It's 260 maybe, and we're talking about maybe the greatest hero of the world of Boogie Nights, especially if you were at a Winchell's at 2 a.m. in the Valley.
Buck Swope.
Sometime in 1978, Buck Swope, and this Travis Rogers comes on the show, and I'll quote him verbatim. Buck Swope is a loser, and I mean, how dare you? The guy's trying different. He's trying different looks. He's doing Pharaoh. He's doing cowboy. You know, and he doesn't like
forgot about that. That one hurt me. I loved when he went on the tangent that Daniel LaRusso was a loser.
Yes. Yeah, that was good. He's right. He was right about that. Yes.
But he was hurtful about like a true beloved film star. Like Who doesn't love Buck Swope?
Yeah, Buck Swope. Now, and look, you call yourself Buck Swope, and then you move to the future because there's no internet when Buck Swope's doing his work. But these days there is the internet. You want to look up Buck Swope, you're not going to find 3-4 different Buck Swopes. There's only one fucking Buck Swope. Seth Peterson.
Yeah,
No
it
wonder he
sounds like
killed
a
himself.
guy that murdered multiple wives. Went on fishing trips with his wife.
Yes, Seth Peterson.
Right. Kind of sounds like it.
Lives in Modesto, sells manure. Okay, found himself a massage therapist girlfriend.
Was sells manure really?
Yeah, he sold manure. Yeah, that was his job. And look, you're selling manure in Modesto, California. Yeah. You're clean. That's the breadbasket of the world, the San Joaquin Valley.
You're a suspect.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Hey, can we rule him out? Well, he sells shit, right? No, we cannot rule him out.
No, he's a manure salesman.
This is a guy who works in shit.
Okay, let's talk. This is a sports talk show, Ed. Let's talk.
Let's get to the sporty stuff.
As we will record, there's the NCAA men's basketball final going on right now, and Ed has moved into an era where he doesn't have a television within viewing, within his purview.
I did this ever since we started putting ourselves on camera.
Yeah.
Because I watched the first episode when we were doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching.
You're gazing
TV,
at Monday
and I was
Night
like,
Football.
What an asshole I am. So I don't watch.
In your defense, I'm talking a lot, so there's plenty of time to dip out. I'm yelling about Buck Swope over here
because my eyes are dog shit, and I just don't feel like wearing glasses all the time.
Yeah.
So I have the words of like the articles that we're doing, or the the headlines
blown up,
and then I have another blown up, and then I have a tiny thing. So I'm just looking at like a thumbnail of you and me. Smart. Like I can barely see us. So I'm not even staring. You know how people are on Skype and they're like looking at themselves? I can't really see anything. I just want to make sure I'm in camera angle, but beyond that, but I have to zoom in so much. It's sad.
Yeah,
it's
sad. It's I'm at the point where I can't. I tried Progress, so I need the readers too, obviously. But I tried, but I only need them to read. So then
only
it's
to read
like
for me. I've never needed to watch TV, to drive, whatever. I just needed to read.
So I always have to have them in my pocket because I haven't figured out how to do progressives where it's just like a reader in the lens, so you can just wear the glasses and then use them when you need to. But I was I was at a Super Bowl party, and there was a bunch of guys from high school that I hadn't seen in a long time at the Super Bowl party.
Spence?
And I'm looking. Now Spence wasn't there, but I didn't see Spence recently. But I was at a Super Bowl party, and I looked around, and everybody's like halftime, and everybody's checking their phone, and I see them. They're all going to their pocket. They're pulling out their readers to look at their phones. I'm like, oh, thank God, it's not just me. We all got this shit in our pockets.
My buddy calls them his 45s. Once you hit 45, all of a sudden you just can't read shit.
It is crazy because I was bragging about my 2020. I had just 2020 my whole life, and my dad's like, no, you're gonna need readers. Never. Yeah, never gonna need them. And now cannot see shit without them.
No, same.
Okay, let's talk about some sports.
My name is Brian. They call me the other guy. I host a podcast show. I'll give hetero life a try. If you see something on my hand that makes you think I'm not a man, it's just my cool rings, you see. They're as sparkly as can be. A Michael Troy on DVD.
Still reviewing Seth Peterson's Avir over here. Ed, what is going on in the world of sports this week?
So, doesn't get much sportier than this. Quadruple-Amputee professional cornhole player faces murder charges. He claims it's self-defense. And I've seen video of him firing shots.
Yeah.
This dude.
Yeah.
He's aggressive.
You know, I was discussing this via text with a person who I may have named earlier on this podcast, and he was like, "Look, how are they going to call this guy a quadruple amputee? Well, that's what I said, because one of the nubs, he had a nub that still had the elbow, and that's how he did the trigger, because he like gets the end of the nub in there.
He's not
it's
working
really
with
impressive.
much. It's impressive to look at this guy firing him off.
He's armless and legless, and he's shooting guns like with pretty good accuracy. It was so good, in fact, that he killed his buddy.
So Patton Oswalt has a great routine of why you really should only have about 20 birthday parties. And it's little kid, then like 13, you're a teenager, and then some states 15, some states 16, 17, when you can drive, whenever that is.
21.
18, you're an adult. 21, you can drink. 25, you can rent a car. Then just every decade. And what he says is 50, if you 60. Get to 100, if you get above 100, you should legally be allowed to get away with murder as long as you're using your bare hands. Okay, if you get strangled to death by a 101-year-old, it should be legal. You can just murder someone. It's along the same line. If a quadruple amputee can hunt you down, like, even though it's impressive, he can fire off a round. He has to get the gun. Everything has to be perfect for him to fire that gun. If you can't get out of the way, maybe it's kind of, it was your time.
It's not. Your time to go. Yeah, it's not like he's quick draw McStump over here. The dude, like, not only has no hands, he's got no fingers.
He's not sprinting over to the gun.
No,
you know those scenes in movies where the gun's on the ground and the guys scramble to get the gun
for it. Yeah,
he's got no legs. He's got
legs.
He's
He apparently also had anger issues, because he had a girlfriend, and his girlfriend apparently also fucked the dead guy. So I'd like to know what's up with this chick. You know, she's got some issues because she's fucking Stumpy McGee over here, and who's got anger issues, and he's like cussing her up and down, and I'm like, my man, and look, Ed, I'm sensing a pattern here. Let's not forget Opisto, Oscar Pistorius. Only a double amputee in his case.
Or R.I.P. Riva.
Yeah, Riva, gorgeous. This man, he had two working hands, and he got a little angry, and then we find out not only does he murder Riva, thinking she was an intruder that broke into his house to take a shit in his master bathroom,
to look in his medicine cabinet.
Yeah, I feel like if you think you have an intruder and they've gone into the bathroom, unless you're Meredith, Amanda Knox's roommate.
Oh,
because he did her, and then he left a curler in the bowl and didn't. I was gonna say,
he skidded the pan.
Yeah, he should have been in prison just for that. Like, just that kind of activity is. Yeah, that's the end of that guy. But like, if somebody breaks in and they're in the bathroom, I mean, you're free to leave the home. Even a legless
Call
man.
the cops. Hey, I think someone's
in the shitter.
Dropping one.
He's in the shitter.
Someone's
like
dropping an anchor.
Yeah. But these armless and limp, like, look, the tube is out of the toothpaste with the old Second Amendment in this country. It's a well-regulated militia. Means every man, woman, and child needs at least a couple of pieces, right? So,
well-regulated militia means you graduated 5th grade. That's what.
Yeah, and look, you still, there's still things that are legal that we regulate. It says right in there, regulated. So you need a license to drive a car. You got to register
getting your driver's license.
Yes, exactly. You got to be able to do that. You got to register the vehicle, whatever. But I will say, and so maybe we could put some restrictions on this. Maybe being armless and legless, you don't get to. You're known to have anger issues. Yes. Yeah.
Go welfare.
Not sure you should have a piece, guy. Anyway.
ESPN/ABC college football analyst and ex-Alabama quarterback Greg McElroy is convinced the moon landing was fake. Convinced.
I know.
Like, there's no gray area.
I know. It is. Look, you can't know one way or the other, right? Like there are some anomalies in that story that just don't seem to add up. I understand. It would be a weird thing to just to go to all that trouble to be like, hey, Russia, look, we did it. But we've also found out that literally everything we know is a lie. Like every single historical detail that we're aware of, completely beginning to end, is a lie. So I can side with Greg McElroy there.
I will say, there has to be reason. We can point to reasons.
Yeah.
And like, who's winning right now with this? And if Russia wanted to, if the Soviets at the time wanted to like call bullshit, they would have tried to call. There's just,
because they had telescopes. They could watch. Yeah. They could watch what was happening. You know, like they'd be letting us know. Look. I'm not saying it's like the greatest. Look, I'm not a big AI guy unless I'm using it to make the show notes in about 35 minutes. But these Iranian AI Lego propaganda videos are just so fucking good. Like they're just like really. And now they're dropping. Look. Iran is based. They're dropping bombs with pictures of Tupac on them and shit. Like it's like there's just a lot of cool shit coming out of Iran these days. I never thought I'd say that. If the moon landing was faked, as many allege, and I don't know one way or the other. I mean, this Putin would have his best guys proving it to the world to make us look like clowns, right? Like that is. I agree with you there that the Soviets would have been letting the world know that that we were faking it, because they were also trying to get there, right?
Also, I just need to know what Greg McElroy knows. He went to Alabama.
Yeah.
He doesn't know shit.
Didn't make
he doesn't know anything about anything.
No. It didn't. And yeah, it's a low bar for being a college football analyst.
Yeah.
These days. Speaking of analysts, did you see the video? Somebody sent me the video of Dan Orlovsky when his autistic son came on the show he's on for World Autism Day, and sang the Eagles Fly or whatever the fight song is. And anybody that's a dad, I would suggest you not watch this video, because it is so heart-wrenching just to see. This guy has so much love for his son, and he's just beaming with pride for this beautiful kid that just loves what he loves. And just like, as a dad, it's hard to watch because it makes you want to cry.
I love everything about that, except
I know.
Fly Eagles fly. Oh my god.
I know.
Just what the world needs, another fucking Eagles fan getting in your face.
I don't believe Dan Orlovsky ever played for the Eagles. I believe he was a backup for the Lions, right?
No, he was the starter on those 0-16 Lions. He was
exactly. He played.
Remember when he rolled out in the back of the end zone, just kept running? He was 4 yards deep behind.
I do remember that.
Yeah. That was part of that season.
Yeah. Fair. Okay. What else, Ed?
Shaq denies DMing Sabrina Carpenter about turning her farts into cologne. Oh, Shaq.
There's I don't know who Sabrina Carpenter is, but
she's like a cute little singer, but she's like 5 feet tall. Like Shaq. It's like she's like a Tinkerbell to Shaq. She's just tiny to Shaq.
It is. And look, this Shaq, he knows products, right? Because he's
general.
He gets a taste of all those companies. Like if you use Shaq as an endorser of your product, he gets a piece. You're going to give him equity.
He would endorse genocide if they paid him the right price.
He would. So, but I don't know about the scent he's suggesting for this woman's cologne. And look, Shaq, obviously a much better marketer than I am.
Oh, he's great at it.
Yeah. I'm reminded, Ed, there's this chick on Instagram. I think her name's Carissa Codell, and she's a weather person in like some fucking low market.
Like Bezos' wife?
Yes. Lauren Sanchez. Yes. But she's young, right? She's young. and she's a weather person in like, I want to like say like Tulsa or something.
Okay.
And she is I find her attractive, but she is very she's a certain type, you know. She has a thicker build. She's you know, she looks like she might lift weights. She's just a solid.
What's that name?
Carissa Codell. I think it's Coedel. And she has an Instagram account where she reads the comments on her Instagram in a newscaster voice, and a lot of them are very they're very derogatory but hilarious. And she had
strong.
Yes, she is. Yes, she looks like she could line up in the three. She'd be on the strong side. Okay, like for sure. She has fun with it. She reads the comments that she gets in a newscaster voice, and it is so funny. And she's very cute. And then she had a tournament of all the names people call her, and I believe the winning, or it was in the finals of the tournament she did, the winning name that somebody called her was Sabrina Contractor, which is like you see it like it is. Yes. Yeah. Anyway. Carissa Codell, we're a big fan. We'd love it if you would come on. Carissa Codell, come on and tell us all the how to have a good attitude about people.
I love that.
Maybe not so nice.
Love
to
it.
You. Yes.
Big news.
Yes.
Tiger flipped his car, got the DUI.
Yeah. Yeah.
He told the deputy he was just talking to the president
after
the Florida crash.
Yeah.
When I heard the story and then saw the video, I was expecting nighttime footage. It's
middle of the day.
Middle of the day.
Middle of the day, Jupiter, Florida. No one around. He's just like in a neighborhood.
Fucking book at this. This dude should never have his license again.
I agree.
What is this? 3 times? 4 times?
His car was on its side. I wonder if like he could have got a couple strong neighborhood guys and righted it real quick and then headed out.
Knock on a door, be like, "Hey, can I?"
Hey,
but
I'm Tiger Woods. Yeah.
My God, buddy, you should
dangerous.
Never drive again. You're so rich, you never have to drive drunk. Ever.
Or on pills. Yeah. And I will say, like in Florida, he must have had some of his wits about him, because I'm stunned that in Florida, this guy couldn't say, I'm on the phone with the president, and not have the cops be like, all right, but let me give you a ride home. Like, this is
right.
Let's tell my guy I'm here for him. Big knucks to my boy 47.
Hang on. And how do you know? Maybe these cops weren't MAGA in Florida.
West. You're right. Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm stereotyping over here. How is it possible? They're
not
all cops. Exactly. I talked about this, Ed. You know how I backed the blue? I backed the blue because I got let off of a ticket. Then this weekend I went on a run, and I went on a run like out in the, like some trails around here, and it was pretty fucking hot. And I was coming back towards the end of the run, and I was getting pretty tired. And so I pulled over to some shade, and I was like kind of like hands on knees, like catching my breath in the shade, just trying to cool off a little bit. And the sheriff's department, like they were trying to conduct some backwoods investigations, apparently, because they came by like on their ATV thing, and they're like, "Hey man, how you doing?" And I'm like, and look, white skin, so I was in the clear. Right. I wasn't, I didn't have, hey, hands up, don't shoot. I didn't have to do that.
Because if you weren't white skin, is, hey man, what are you doing with a gun?
What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing back here? What you got some business back here in the public trails? So, but they're like, hey man, you look like you could use some water, and I'm like, no, I'm good. And he's like, no, there's a cooler right there. Take a water out of it. He goes, but don't touch my sandwich. I'm like, okay, I won't touch your sandwich. So this is like twice in 3 weeks I've had a positive interaction with the cops. Apparently. So I'm back in the blue. Back in the blue, Brian, like I always have.
The B in Brian stands for Blue Lives Matter.
That's right. I'm getting the Punisher tattoo, the American flag. I'm all into it because I back the blue these days.
NBA Hall of Famer George Gervin was irked that Bears quarterback Caleb Williams filed a trademark for Iceman.
Should be.
Who calls Caleb Williams the Iceman?
Nobody.
I've never heard anyone.
It's like the Black Mamba. Yeah.
The Iceman.
Hey, no one calls him that. He paints his fingernails.
Does Iceman mean makes one spectacular throw and 35 bad throws a game?
Exactly. It's this guy's nicknaming himself.
I think we should name our show the Air Jordan Show.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Ed, I hit up that link that you sent me. I got on my way. You know, who knows when they'll arrive because they're coming from the Far East. But I got me some black and cement Jordan 3s en route. I can't wait. So excited. So fired up about this. Yeah. This is very exciting. Yeah.
Very exciting.
There already is an Iceman.
Like all you do is who is the Iceman in sports? Like it's the finger roll. It's George Gervin.
There's not only that. Yes, there's the Iceman George Gervin with the finger roll. There's Iceman from Top Gun, and there's
also the Iceman, this serial killer, hitman, not a serial. Well, sort of a serial killer.
Yes, with the Boston Mob, I think that was just like very matter of fact about all the people. He got the name Iceman because he was ice picking dudes.
Yeah, they could never know, and also he would put them in the cooler so you couldn't tell the time of death. Right.
Fucking smart ass dude.
But Caleb Williams is not the Iceman.
No one's ever called him that. I've only ever heard him called Caleb Williams.
Right.
Never heard him called Iceman.
Paint your nails. I do not. I'm not one of these guys that's all offended. Like, who cares?
Nah, it doesn't.
But I'm offended by calling yourself one of the best NBA players of all time. You're just taking their nickname.
Yeah.
If you're gonna take an NBA player's nickname, be like, "Hey, I'm the mailman," and then everybody like, "Oh, you like fucking 12-year-olds?
13-year-old girls?" Yeah.
Great.
Speaking of MAGA, that's 100%.
Hobbies.
Yeah, you gotta come up. First of all, you can't give yourself a nickname. Somebody got to call you something. You can't call yourself a thing. Somebody got to call you something, and then you trademark that. And because nobody's gonna call you a thing, like Clifford the Black Rhino ATN. I believe he's in prison now, but look, he got that nickname. Somebody started calling him the Black Rhino. He didn't just name himself Clifford the Black Rhino ATN. You know, like this. What about James Bone Crusher Smith?
Oh, yeah.
How about that for a name? Bone Crusher?
Bone Crusher.
Fuck out of here.
Name.
Very. So look.
And NYC. Okay. NYC preschool boss embezzled nearly $3 million to buy WWE tickets and live like a celebrity. So the fact that this was the first thing that was listed in what this like shambolic preschool boss.
Yeah.
WWE tickets.
Unbelievable.
That's what hey, you've got all the money in the world. Not like round the world trips. Yeah. WWE.
You're going like
fake wrestling.
Are you following them around like the Grateful Dead? You're like, oh, I want to see
Big Boss Man.
I want to see Greg the Hammer Valentine in Tulsa and Memphis. Yeah. I
want to see Bruce the Barber cut the hair off of a jobber in Columbus and Houston and Albuquerque.
I've never seen the Road Warriors hawk an animal in Syracuse before, and it's my lifelong dream to go there. That reminds me, I'm going to see. I don't know if you've been following baseball. The Dodgers are off to a pretty hot start, and including Andy Pages. They're in the other room over there. They're kicking the shit out of the Toronto Blue Jays like they did in the World Series. And I'm going to go see a Dodger series this summer in Pittsburgh, the Steel City.
Ooh,
Pittsburgh.
Nice. Beautiful ballpark.
Yeah, I've never been. I've been wanting to go to that ballpark, and I have some family that's from that area, so I'm gonna go back there. I'm gonna get one of those Permane Brothers sandwiches. I'm gonna go watch a game at the ballpark. Should I go to that karaoke strip club that
the Tennyson Lounge karaoke?
Yeah, karaoke. Might have to go. Yeah, might have to go do a
Friday night deal there.
Okay, see what I can do.
Yeah. I was thinking of seeing Kamala from Parts Unknown. I would like to see him in Parts Known, Toledo, Ohio.
The Ugandan headhunter. Now, I don't know. Like, look, this is not my place to say. I'm not a white savior over here. But taking a black guy from Alabama and calling him the Ugandan headhunter and making it so that from parts unknown and make it
not parts unknown.
It's from Uganda.
Wait, so who was parts unknown?
I think he might have been. I think the Ugandan headhunter might have also been from parts unknown.
Okay.
It's like what? Like it seems a little. And then he's like he can't speak. He can't. He doesn't know English. Like
he's Idi Amin.
Yeah, it feels a little. Feels a little racist.
Now, final sports news.
Yeah.
The voice of the Ravens announced his retirement after 20 seasons.
Yeah.
And I never heard of this, but his name,
tough.
Jerry Sandusky. Jerry with a G. I'm sure he must have said Jerry with a G.
Yeah.
20,000 times.
Hundreds of times. Yeah. It's Jerry Sandusky. Is that one guy? There's a guy that used to be a radio talk show host here in LA, and he's devoted. He's a Jerry Sandusky truther. He's devoted his life. I think his name's John Ziegler, and he's a Penn State alum, and he's a Jerry Sandusky, Joe Paterno truther, where he's like, all those kids are lying. They were out to get the defensive coordinator on the number 7 team in the Big Ten that season. Like they were gunning for him.
I just remember, like, in the weeks after all this went down, Sandusky, before the trial, Sandusky went on NBC and Bob Costas interviewed him. Like Mr. Hard Hitter Bob Costas.
I remember it well.
And he goes, Jerry, do you like children?
Yeah. He took a long pause.
The long pause, and he goes, do I like children? Yeah. And then what you're supposed to say is no. Like what? No. Are you into children? No. Yeah. No. Yeah. Why would I be? No. And he was like, do I love children? Do I love children? Like he had a lawyer that let him do that interview.
Insane.
That was the best he could do. This dude loved fucking kids more than anything.
Loved it. And that's what Bob Costas asked him. He goes, what do you the showering with the kids, you would take young boys into the shower with you. What was that all about? And he was like, that was just horseplay. Just horseplay. Horseplay.
You should not be laughing. This is
nude
the farthest thing from funny.
Nude horseplay with children in a public showering environment.
60s.
Yeah. With his, because he would adopt these boys as well. They would come live with him. He's just cared about kids. Ed, just mostly young boys, exclusively young boys. Yeah, didn't care too much for young girls. Only cared for the young boys that he could do horseplay with. But he's, maybe he's innocent. Okay, Ed, let's do some emails.
He's so easy to hate. Your time he likes to waste. His calls are far from great. His calls are far from great. He's such a stupid fuck. He seems down on his luck. His voicemails really suck. His voicemails really suck. No one's enjoying him. He's so annoying. Plus so fucking boring and worthless, but he's got nothing else to do. And he's even worse than ish. His thoughts are useless shit. He's fat and got big tits. He's meant well.
R.I.P. Ish. Just one voicemail this week, and I have a feeling I know what this one's about. Let's check in. Let's go to the great state of Ohio.
Gentlemen, Katie. I feel like I have to stick up for myself.
Well, hold on. With a little background here. Last we spoke, the great Afroman. Had won a great victory for free speech and for abuse of power the part of the Adams County, Ohio Police Department.
Yep.
Who kicked down his door on a false
eyeballed
accusation.
That lemon cake.
Yes. He had that lemon pound cake on his counter, and some fat cop with a goatee and no neck couldn't stop looking at that lemon pound cake. He wanted a piece of it. I'm thinking about having a piece right now.
That sounds delicious.
There was also Lick 'em Low Lisa was there.
Of course,
that son of a bitch, Randy Walters. And he made songs about it. And then he went to court.
Bangers.
And also, there was some possible accusations that Afroman, we're talking about Afroman, was MAGA because maybe he had some view. He lives in Ohio. I saw an interview with him. He goes, "How am I going to be MAGA? I ran for president. I voted for myself." Afroman, and he's running again. Afroman 2028. He's like, "How could I be a MAGA?" Yeah, and then you may not remember, I said on the show that I had reached out to our dear friend Katie Shady and her husband, Mr. Shady, who happened to own a concert venue. And I said, "Look, you live 45 minutes from Afroman." However, and she'll correct me on that. She'll be like, "It's 90 minutes. It's past Dayton, whatever. I don't care." You could host an event with Afroman.
Like to pull up and hear him sing the song "Randy Walters is a son of a bitch."
Lick 'em Low Lisa. He do all the hits, all of them, every single one. Just everybody singing along. Just a good ass party. And this Katie Shady was dead set against it. She's anti-Afroman every way, and I feel like she's rebutting what I had to say here.
The face of these Afroman call outs and accusations and all those things. So the population where Afroman lives is like 20 people. Yeah. And he lives out in Adams County, probably because after he got famous, he liked to grow his own marijuana.
Yep.
And it is a very sparsely populated county where there are a lot of agricultural enthusiasts.
Yeah.
As well as incestual enthusiasts.
Wow.
Juggalos.
You mean juggalos?
All sorts of weird
juggalos
that happen out in Adams County.
Yeah.
So when it comes to allowing this person to play at our theater, we are opening our doors up to the dregs of society it comes to Adams County people. Now, somebody should probably have them play in New York.
There's only 20 of them.
Bring in people from all over the country.
Yeah.
That's
only
not
20
happen
people
here.
Yeah.
So no, we're not going to have Afroman play. We're not like Jean-Francois, who owns Taste of Belgium, who's going broke and has closed like 6 locations.
I forgot. So remember that there's a breakfast place that's doing like lemon pound cake French toast or something. Yeah. They're doing like a special, and Katie Shady's shitting all over that guy now. She's like, no,
venue beef.
He's failing. His restaurant was failing. This is a last ditch effort to get people in the door of New Belgium.
It's better than Motor Pub's tots. No. I'm not saying that.
Oh no one's saying that. Delicious tots.
I just think we should be Big Tent. Should be a Big Tent for Ohio. We want Afroman, and people are there for the tots.
Boy, this Katie Shady sent me the new menu at Motor Pub. I'm telling you what, Ed. Yeah. Of the prices in the middle of this country, those of us that live here on the edges,
that we just don't know.
It's like 60% off as far as I'm concerned. What they're charging there, it's crazy. It's basically free. I don't know how they could be making a buck over there. Middle America,
who needs to do a quick money grab. We're not like that.
Yeah.
We don't want Afroman in the theater. His fans are not potty trained.
Yes.
We do not have enough liability insurance.
Unbelievable.
Anyways,
yes.
Have a good one.
I'll give you a little more background. I reached out to the Shadler family and I said, hey, and so I bypassed the boss right here, Katie Shady, and I went right to the husband, and
you went to the top of the flagpole.
Yeah, and I go, hey man, look, you know who sells tickets, you've been in this game a long time, you know who to book. I go, you got to put something together with Afroman, and you know what he said? He goes, absolutely, I got to do it. Let's set this up. And then he goes, and then he comes back to me later, and he's like, sorry man, Kate says no. She put the kibosh. I had a line to the boss, and I said, "Let's get this put together." I would have come out. I would have made a pilgrimage.
Here's the problem with what Katie. I love Katie,
but got a lot of problems with Katie.
She said there's only 20 people in his town.
Exactly.
But we can't ruin our venue with the people from his town.
Right. So doesn't add up.
Does he have too little, too few, or too many? What?
Right.
What are we doing, Katie?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
He would draw in the local Cincinnatians. You know, she doesn't want to make her own people. She doesn't want to bless her own people with the beauty of an Afroman show. Free speech warrior Afroman.
I bet if Afroman performed, the ghost of Jerry Springer would show up. First, he'd stop by the motel across the river in Kentucky. Then he'd go over there.
Write a check for some puss.
Right. Mm-hmm. Personal check.
Yeah. Signed Jerry Springer. Like, thanks for the puss. Jerry Springer, the mayor of Cincinnati.
All right.
Okay. That's it for the free portion of the show. We're moving on to the Patreon bonus portion of the show, where there was one story that I was particularly interested in. And I think it's the one where the woman who had sex with identical twins was told it's not possible to identify the father of her baby. That's something I would like to talk about. Everyone likes my opinions on identical twins, and we'll be discussing that for the Patreon audience. Non-Patreon subscribers, we love you too, and we will see you next week.
Goodbye.
It's time for non-sports segment on the Baller Lifestyle Podcast. Non-sports. I'm talking about the segment now. Non-sports segment.
Ed, what is going on in the world of things that are not, in fact, sports at all?
The founder of Orgasmic Meditation Company gets 9 years in prison for forced labor conspiracy. Without digging down,
tell me,
what is orgasmic meditation? Is this let the founder diddle?
So I looked into this. No, not recently, but there was an article. In and look, I'm not proud of this. I read an article maybe like 12 years ago. And I don't remember what it was now. It was an up and up publication. I'd been like the New York Times or something like this. I don't know. It was a real thing. And it was in LA. I don't know if this is the same thing. It was in LA, and you would like go, like these women and men. I think it was men and women, but the women were the ones with the clitorises. We get a ruling on that. We need a doctor to come on the show to tell me if you can get herpes from the balls and if it's clitoris or clitoris, because I would like the proper pronunciation of that. But you would go and it would be like in a hall. Ever tell about the time I went and did breath work? I went to a breath. I know. This is crazy. Like this is
ASMR stuff.
I'm on a sober journey. I'm like finding myself. So I went to this thing where no, Ed, seriously. Yes. No, this is what happened. Yeah. I went to this thing where it's like they're teaching you how to do breath work, which I'm still not quite sure what it is, but Ed can't even look at me. So you're standing there, and I tried to bail out because it took so long to get to. I just want to learn how to breathe and be calm.
What is breath work?
It's like they teach you breathing techniques. But Ed,
just while you run, while you sleep, when do you need to know how to breathe?
Just in life, like you need to breathe to calm yourself, to help yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
to calm down. Okay.
Yeah, that kind of thing. It was meditative. And it's not that different than this thing that I'm about to tell you about. But I went to the thing, and then it's like, oh, breathe. You're like box breathing. It's like.
They're Lamaze classes.
Basically, yeah. And then they go, okay, now we're going to get to the thing. And you get on the floor, you lie back, and I brought like a yoga mat. Everybody brings a yoga mat. There's like, this is in a big warehouse. There's probably like 250 people in there, Ed. We all lay down on our mats, right? And I lay back, and then I'm laying there, and I'm like, what am I doing here? And then they're like doing the breathing, and they're like, okay, do the breathing. And then there's a DJ, right? And the DJ is like playing this like it's like this tribal type primal music, you know? And it's like going. We hit the floor, and they're like, okay, start the breathing exercises. I swear to God, Ed, there was probably 100 women in there, 150. Half immediately started having orgasms. They were like, and I'm like, come on, you guys. And then the other half started processing like whatever their stepdad did to them when they were 9. You know,
and the DJ playing Smokey Robinson's Gasms?
Yes, it was basically, it was Gasms personified. And I'm like, what is going on here? And then I start laughing my ass off. I can't stop laughing because I'm like, what is happening in this room? So similarly, I think orgasmic meditation takes it a step further where they sit down, and the guy, I think it's usually a guy, sits behind the chick, and the chick is pantsless. All right. And this, you could see why I wanted to go to this. The guy sits behind the chick, and they coach you like how to properly massage the clitoris to bring these, like my experience is that like chicks are all different, you know, and not everybody likes it the same way. But in this, I don't know. They tell you a way to do it, and it's like downstrokes on the left side of the clit. I swear to God. Look, I didn't go to it, but I heard about it. I think that I think that's what this
happening
is.
While you were on all fours in the Elks Club lab, just breathing away.
That's on my back. But yes, you're not far off. This okay, New York. The leader of a sex-focused women's wellness company that promoted, quote, orgasmic meditation, I'm in on that, was sentenced Monday to 9 years in federal prison for a scheme that a judge said exploited vulnerable women and coerced them into performing sex acts with the company's clients and investors. Now, hold on, Ed. Coerced, the fucking name of the thing is orgasmic meditation.
Yeah, you signed up for orgasmic meditation. There were going to be gasms.
Yeah, you were going to get gasm. This isn't like that. This isn't like that Nexium dude that's like, well, actually, now that you're here, I got to brand you. You know, this isn't David
until you sex a lot of people.
Yeah, this isn't like our man Koresh that's like, okay, you can come in, but you got your 12-year-old daughter stays. You know, like it's different.
All your kids.
Yes. Yeah, it's different. Nicole Daddione, co-founder of One Taste Inc. Oh, get that one? One Taste was ordered to forfeit $12 million, and 7 victims were awarded roughly $890,000 in restitution. Coercion disguised as wellness or empowerment is still exploration. Well, let's talk about the clits, though. What she was doing wasn't about enlightenment or operating in a different dimension, the judge said. Remind me, I'm going to send you a picture of these breathwork people, Ed, because you're going to be like, because I didn't know about it. Okay. So this woman I knew that lives in Australia, not that one. She doesn't live in Australia, but a different Australian reached out to me on the internet, and she was like on Instagram, and she's like, hey, I follow you. She's like, I think you might benefit from this event. You should go to it. And she's like, they usually charge and it's free. So go to this thing. I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check this out. And then I went to it. And then the people that were like leading it, I'm like, oh, these people are going to ask for my social security number before I leave. Like, where's my, if I go under, I did actually, Ed, during the breathing portion, I did lose consciousness for a while. I will admit that. Okay. Something happened during the breath work.
You got chloroformed.
I kept my wallet close, you know, like I didn't give up any personal details.
I applaud your journey. I'm proud of you for your journey. I'm not sure all the stops. I'm not sure all the stops on the journey, but I'm proud of you for your journey.
Didn't go to a second event. I'll just tell you that much right now. Okay. I attended one breathwork thing. Nobody touched any clits as far as I know, but there was some, also they come around and like, there's like these facilitators.
Hey, you breathing okay? You breathing?
Yeah. Yes. And there's these facilitators, and they're all kind of like hot. Yes, it is. You'd be surprised. The facilitators were like all these kind of like hot young hippie chicks, and then they come around like, but there's not one for everybody, and so you're like sleeping. You're not sleeping, but you got your eyes closed and you're doing the breathing, right? And they go around and they lay hands on people, and I'm like,
here comes the gasm.
I want a hand on me, like right? Or I'm like, the whole reason I came was to get some hands on me, and then eventually one of them came and did lay her hands on me, but I didn't she didn't touch the good parts. She just touched the regular parts. I think it was like my feet or something.
Touching your traps.
Yeah. Those are the best parts. Okay, Ed, what else?
So we're in the calendar year where there'll be some elections in November. So we're in the lead up to primaries that are like June or whatever. Yeah,
these are the elections that ICE is going to roll out and break everybody's wrists with a stick if they show up.
All of the elections ICE is going to roll out now. We're done with regular elections.
We only have ICE elections anymore.
We're looking at crystal knock the rest of the way.
100%. Yeah.
But so there's a congressional race, and so in the primaries, you're going to look for, hey, is anything in this candidate's backstory that we could use?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, so
unless it's Cory Booker, they never really look into his backstory.
Wait, I gotta put. This is one of the great. My buddy sent me this tweet, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Cory Booker. Booker having the longest floor speech in U.S. Senate history is our political equivalent of Adebayo scoring 83 points.
100%. Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's a guy in Silicon Valley. He was a tech founder, and he's running for Congress. He was sued for illegally downloading lots of porn, including, and I got a list of some of them.
Read the list, please.
Come in for an orgy, CUM.
Yeah.
Three-way strip poker, fashion show fucking.
Yeah.
Sex and fashion, a three-way project.
Oh, nice.
18-year-old models, first-time threesome.
Sure.
Surprise sex for three, and sex for three by the sea. Brian, do you think this guy has a theme?
He's got a lane. He's got a lane for sure. Also, like fashion threesomes, like that's more jarring than the dudes that are into anime sex or octopus fornication.
This guy loves three is the magic number for him.
Well, we've talked about this before, Ed, and you get especially annoyed by this. What's with the downloading?
And illegally downloading. So he's like, he was stealing things. Like everything is free. Even threesome videos are free out there.
Yeah, he's going on Kazaa, Ed, so he can put it on his Western Digital hard drive for later.
Fucking Johnny LimeWire over here.
Yeah.
But it is like, of course, I don't give a shit about people's sexual proclivities as long as they're not hurting someone.
Look, even if you're jerking it to cuckold porn on 9/11, like that's right. But each his own. Yeah.
I have to question the judgment of a guy who felt the need to illegally download things when shit is free right next to where you could illegally download it.
Insane.
That's why you can't vote for this. I know nothing about this guy or any
decision maker. Yeah.
But he's very stupid. There are free threesome videos everywhere.
And waster of resources. Like this is like he's just down there downloading. Oh, it's my world. I'll just have this stuff, I'll use all the power.
He was a Silicon Valley tech bro.
Right.
The only thing they know to do is to waste resources.
Right.
They love it.
Yeah. Look, I'm no fan of war. And I don't, I think I would say that my number one political stance, if I had to pick one thing, it is that I'm anti-war. I don't believe in it. I don't believe anybody should be killed. I believe civilians, especially, should be spared. These are innocent people that have no part in their government's decisions. But I did see that Iran's about to blow up a ChatGPT data center in Abu Dhabi. And it's like, I could look the other way for that one, Ed. Like, it's just like, Of all, look, I call me a hypocrite, but like if that's, as long as that's not the one that does the show notes for this show, because I need that one to be functioning just at least for another hour or so. Don't do it yet.
Give me a half-hour head start so we can kick out the show notes,
get rid of it,
and then run head for the hills.
Yes. Yeah.
Get
with that Tupac drone. Yeah.
Right.
I don't want anybody to die. Then hit it with the Tupac drone. And then they'll make a Lego AI video about it. And we'll all clap.
So I, like you,
yeah,
am a lover, not a fighter.
That's right.
Hate war.
That's
War.
Right. That's right.
This next person doesn't agree with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rob Schneider calls to reinstate the U.S. military draft amid Iran war. Yeah. Deuce Bigelow wants to send our young, bright adults to fight.
No, it's because he's not a dumb guy, right? Like it's not like he's found a lane.
Hard. Yeah, he tacked hard to the right.
Yeah, he's found a lane, and he's like, I'm just gonna keep saying shit in this lane because this is. Look, I'm at the end. What we learned recently?
The same as pretending you love Kid Rock and Ted Nugent.
Right.
You just
exactly. Yeah.
Like this is what I'm into now.
This is the way I can maximize my earning potential. I'm 60 years old. I'm 5'3". I got plugs.
Yeah.
I'm going through a divorce.
Adam Sandler's made his last grown-ups movie.
Exactly. I'm out. I'm not in the crew anymore. It's fine. I can't do the copier. Stingorama, the Stinger.
Lebanon.
Yeah, the fucking draft. Fuck Rob Schneider though. Like it's whatever.
Reporting on Christians protecting Muslim. A woman who had sex with identical twins was told it's not possible to identify the father of her baby.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. If you're a woman and you've had sex with an identical twin, you've had sex with identical twins. Because what do we know about these identical twins? Okay. They share DNA.
They wear the same clothes.
Yeah. They jerk each other off like this. Look, it's jerking yourself off, Ed. They got the same DNA. So you reach over and I can't remember the Winklevoss's names. Cameron Winklevoss, Cameron and Tyler reaches over and gives Cameron a tug. That's himself. He's tugging himself off. Ed. They have the exact same DNA. Yeah. And so they're gonna share a lady. No big deal to them.
And then she's gonna be looking for clues in the next few years, like which one is it? And then you're like, oh, they act the exact same. Yeah. They are the same person. Same person. So do they My Two Dads it? Do they just make everyone live together? Have the judge with the gravelly voice show up every episode? Yes. What do you do?
We make a sitcom out of it. Yeah, they call it Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Towering. Faulty Eiffel Towers.
And then somehow have Dick Butkus running a diner downstairs?
Weirdly. To bottom floor of the building.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Look, this is just one more. People think I'm being funny, Ed. Identical twins. You hit a certain age. That age is like 17.
You have to be at different coasts.
Separate states. 500-mile rule. Ed, triangulate. You can never come. Then this
wouldn't have happened.
Yep.
This wouldn't have happened.
Nope. 100% would not have happened.
Yeah. And finally, a woman who married a river, I believe in England. Yeah. She shared how she keeps her romance alive on her wedding anniversary. I am committed.
Oh, yeah, but that river's a slut. That river will let anybody come in it.
Right. Do you think there's just a Legends of the Fall situation? She's just waiting in the river?
Well, do you think she finds like a particularly roaring rapid or gully?
Yeah.
And she just
Right.
she just lays back and
like
opens
sits
her
back
legs
on the rocks.
Yeah,
him
and
go.
just lets it wash upon her.
But yeah,
lady
there could
parts.
be a couple of drunk English guys doing the lazy river thing.
Yeah, coming in it. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Oh.
going for it.
Any body of water, Ed, look, hotel pool, pond, stream, isthmus.
Remember when in the lead up to the Paris Olympics, they wanted to say that the Seine was clean enough and the mayor was going to go swimming. And then they're like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. And then there was backlash and it was like, all right, I'm going to do it. And it was like, it's great in here. It's great.
Yeah.
Rivers
is nice. Yeah, no, you stay out of a river. We poison the rivers, just no thanks.
I ride my bike next to the Hudson River every morning.
Yeah.
No, I would not. I would not marry that river.
You ever see Brooke Lopez over there with that little dog it has?
Yeah, a little dog. Yeah,
it was a good size. It was like a manly. It was like a husky, right? It was like a Malinois.
Pomeranian.
Guy's 7 feet tall.
These are Disney adults. These are Disney adults.
Disney. They love Disney. But I'll tell you what, that one Lopez learned how to hit the 3, and he extended his career about 12 years. Yeah, yes, he did. Okay, Ed. Hold on, I gotta find the button again. It's when we do it every week. I could move the button to a different place, but then it's like I would have to remember to do something about this show in between when we do it. Hopefully they don't bomb that data center in the next half hour or so I can get this shit on the internet. Yep. Take care of that. For Ed Daly, my name is Brian Beckner. It's been episode number 615 of the Baller Lifestyle Podcast. We will see you next week.
Goodbye.
Lifestyles Baller Podcast, getting bigger and not smaller. Broadcasting weekly, that's what we